The following podcast contains mature subject matter, adult themes, and may also contain profanity. You have been warned.
Well, hey everyone, welcome back to The Absurd, a podcast of the absurd. We're talking histories and mysteries and strange goings-on. Talking things that are freaky, funny, and frightening sometimes. That's Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi.
How are
How's
you?
it going?
It's going okay. How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Were you frightened there by my
Terrified.
terrifying voice?
Yeah, terrified.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't be terrified. It's okay. You'll be fine.
Okay.
So yeah, we're a week out from Christmas.
We sure are.
My God. You done all your shopping?
Yep.
Are you? Oh,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. I might have a few stocking stuffers to get still, but otherwise,
Yeah.
most of the majority's done.
Well, and it's different. Oops. It's different, when families have kids. Like my family, even the grandkids, my nieces. Why did I say that? I don't even have nieces. My nephews.
Please keep that in.
You shut up.
Keep that in.
They're adults, so we do a gift exchange. Like we draw a name,
Yeah.
and we have a cap as to how much you can spend,
Right.
and that's it.
Yep.
And it's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
You
It's kind
know,
of the best way of doing it.
It
really.
is, because otherwise it can get out of hand, man.
It absolutely
Real
can.
fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Me and my in-laws, we decided this year that we're not doing gifts to each other this year.
Cool.
So, and that honestly is a huge relief.
Sure it is.
Because it gets to a point, especially as you become an adult, where with, his parents, it's, what do you want? Well, what do you want? I want this. Okay, I'll buy you that. What do
Yeah.
you want? I'll buy you that. Like, what's the point?
And it gets financially pretty hardcore, dude.
It does.
You know?
Yeah.
And besides,
It's
also,
not necessary.
when people are like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
nothing, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe an Amazon gift card. You know what I mean?
Six-pack of beer, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't really want, anything I really want, you're not going to give to me.
No,
Like,
no.
how about $500,000,
Yeah.
in 20s?
Yeah. Or
Right.
if there's something you need, you just kind of go buy it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
To
sure.
a point, of course.
So,
But
yeah, that's
it's-
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I got a couple things to get you up, but I'm going to go out either tomorrow or Thursday and do that scene. Hey, before we get into it, you want to talk to our people about the contest?
Contest.
I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, we have a contest. I
We
don't know
sure
if you guys
do.
saw that, but we
I
have it
did.
posted up on our socials. If you want to
Mm.
check it out, you
You
can win some swag.
Should check it out.
We got some fancy new shirts.
Darn right we
So yeah, if you want a shirt, we'd love to give you one.
do. Mm-hmm.
So
Not
you
all
just
of them.
gotta. Well, no, not
I mean,
all.
we'd love to, but
well,
we can't really do
not
that.
yet.
Not yet.
Maybe
Not
one
yet.
day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
But yeah, all the instructions are on the social posts of what you need to do to enter. But the usual, like, share, and comment about what your favorite absurd. Yes, that's my new
That's it,
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, the absurd story that you like that
Yeah.
we've talked about.
So let me translate. What she means is comment with your favorite story that we have covered in our podcast since
Yes.
day one.
Yeah.
Anything. And if you can tag other people who don't already listen to the show, that would be wunderbar.
Yeah.
I'd love a wunderbar right now.
Would you?
Well, not right now, because if I was eating it now, I'd be chewing in everyone's ear,
Yeah.
which, it's pretty overrated.
It's not an attractive thing.
Not really. Unless,
No.
Maybe there's some people who are into that.
Well, maybe.
Well,
Google it. See what happens.
no. I don't want to Google that. I'll wreck up my algorithm forever.
What's your algorithm, Rod?
About 6? I don't know. What are you talking about? What do you mean, what's my algorithm?
Oh.
Well, everybody has one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, then what are you asking
That's
for?
why I'm asking.
I don't know. It's like all over the place.
Okay.
But I don't need anything like that thrown in. Like I said before, I'm not yucking anyone's yum. If you're into people chewing in your ear, whatever, dude. But I ain't down with it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've never tried it. Yeah, I don't like it.
No.
That's like that. What is it? ASMR or whatever?
ASMR, yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
God.
They drag their nails or the...
Are there
Don't
people
get
who
it.
enjoy listening to it?
I don't know. I don't get it.
No, I
Some
hate
of it, yes. I can understand. But that where they're like making weird mouth noises in a mic and like tapping it with their gangly nails and...
Gangly.
Yeah.
Remember when I left that new noise I could make with my mouth at the end of the episode about 4 weeks ago? Yes. Yeah. Maybe I could make lots of money just making that sound.
You might. You might.
Cool.
They might use that for like, porn or something.
I don't care as long as I get paid. Hey, so anything new? Anything new you want to mention, talk about?
Not really.
No?
No.
Right.
I'm sure there is, but my brain is done for the day.
Before we get into our main stories, I wanted to tell you something.
Me or our people?
Well, you and everybody.
Okay. I can't wait.
Do you remember the hotels, and they usually had, they started out as restaurants, called Howard Johnson's?
Yes.
And they were like a weird, funky bluish color and orange roofs.
You say they don't have them anymore?
Well, there's a few left. There's not very many anymore. And I remember like traveling as a kid in the 70s with the family, and they were everywhere, like in the U.S.
Yeah.
They're less ubiquitous. There's your word.
Fancy.
But I was reading about them. I don't even remember how I got down that little rabbit hole. But here's a little bit of history about Howard Johnson's, in case you harbored any ill will towards them.
Okay.
Which I don't know why you would, but this should redeem them in your eyes.
Okay.
So Howard Johnson's restaurants by the 1960s were known to be accommodating to members of the LGBTQ community, particularly in metropolitan New York. Now, that's pretty good for the 60s.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So on April 21st, 1966, at the Howard Johnson's in the Greenwich Village neighborhood, Dick Leach, Craig Rodwell, and John Timmons, all members of the New York chapter of the Medicine Society, an early American gay rights group, patronized the restaurant as part of a sip-in demonstration in protest of New York liquor laws that prevented serving gay customers. Gay people couldn't buy drinks.
Wow.
Do explain. Well, I know you can't, but how the hell does that?
Yeah.
Does that track?
Wow.
So the men were served drinks without incident at the restaurant. They later visited Julius Bar, not Orange Julius, but Julius Bar, where they were denied service, eventually leading to changes in the laws. So the only reason I mention that, it never occurred to me that that homosexuals, like gay people, wouldn't be allowed to buy alcohol.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Well, why? Like, are they gonna go get all drunk and make other people gay? Like, seriously?
Yeah, just spread the gay all around.
Don't touch me with your gay.
Yeah.
Give me a
I don't
break.
understand
That's
that.
so stupid.
I know.
But kudos to Howard Johnson's for like saying, we don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's great.
I know.
It's such a crazy thing to even think about at this stage, right? Where if someone's gay to not be served at all.
Like
and how do they know? Do they have like a gaydar?
That's a good question.
Like
That's a good question. What does it depend on what they order?
Yeah.
But see, that's that, and I'm saying that jokingly.
Sure.
Because lots of people, think gay people somehow are more feminine.
Mm-hmm. That's not true.
It's absolutely not true.
No.
It's like, most straight guys are more masculine. Absolutely not true.
Right.
It's rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I thought that was kind of
neat,
noteworthy.
Yeah.
And
especially, like you said, for the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's huge. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get into it?
Oh, I want you to get into it.
All right.
Lay it on us.
All right.
Mel's going to start, everyone. Everyone listen to Mel.
Okay.
Here we go with Mel.
Okay, no pressure. Oh, I'm banging my mic.
Don't bang your mic.
Okay.
Whose mic? Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, 20-year-old Carly Mutart. Mutart?
Isn't that mustard in French?
Mutart.
Seriously.
Okay, I'm going to start over.
Carly Fleur de Mer. I mean shrimp in French.
20.
Oh, no, it's fruit de mer. Never mind. Shut up. What did I say?
20-year-old Carly Muthart from Anderson, South Carolina, had been a star student.
Cool.
She was even earning a spot in the National Honor Society, all while working and smoking marijuana with her friends on the weekends.
Hey.
Just had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
She knew addiction ran in her family, so she was careful to stay away from more serious drugs. Carly left school at 17, hoping to work more and save up to go to college, but her decision to drop out sent her life into a downward spiral.
Oh.
Carly says the catalyst of her spiraling happened when a friend gave her a joint laced with meth when she was 19.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good friend.
Yeah.
It sent her into a transcendent high that she believed brought her closer to God. She continued to chase that high for years. The teen became hooked on meth, progressing from smoking it to injecting it.
Ooh, wow.
Some serious drugs.
Just so.
She got in with the wrong crowd and began partying heavily, which eventually led her to drug abuse, a mental breakdown, and finally a disturbing act of self-harm.
Uh-oh.
Just days before going into a rehab facility, Carly took a larger dose of meth than she normally would and was high and hallucinating for hours. She said, "I thought everything would end abruptly and everyone would die if I didn't tear out my eyes immediately."
Oh, no.
I don't know how I came to that conclusion, but I felt it was, without doubt, the right, rational thing to do immediately. Her memories are fuzzy, she said, but based on the small things she does remember, the details she pieced together from other witnesses, she explained that she believed she had to meet someone at church. So she walked along a railroad track towards it. Her mother had, just a day earlier, convinced Carly to go to a rehab facility. But Carly bought meth that day after the plan was made and took a larger than usual dose as her final hurrah. On her way to said church, a friend she had been staying with drove by and called out the window, "I locked up the house. Do you have the other key?" She said that in her warped mind, being locked out of her home was a sign that my sacrifice is the key to saving the world. So, I pushed my thumb, pointer, and middle finger into each eye. I gripped each eyeball, twisted, and pulled until each eye popped out of the socket. It felt like a massive struggle, the hardest thing I ever had to do. The drug she had taken numbed the pain. She said if a pastor had not heard her screaming, "I want to see the light," and came running, she likely would have clawed into her brain. He later said when he found me that I was holding my eyeballs in my hands. I had squished them, although they were somehow still attached to my head. Don't do drugs, kids.
Not that kind.
Carly was taken to the hospital and had to be pinned down by at least 7 people. She fought so hard that her wrists hurt from the restraints for days. And that's probably not the only thing that hurt.
No, I'm going to say no.
Doctors performed an emergency surgery to fully remove what was left of her eyes in an attempt to preserve her optic nerves and prevent infection. She explained that when she asked family and friends who visited her what she looked like without eyes, they described seeing red tissue, which was muscle filling into the socket, and a white spot, her optic nerve endings, where her eyeballs had been. She said, activities I used to enjoy, like playing guitar and learning piano, are going to be harder now that I'm blind, but I'm still optimistic. When I stub my toe or knee, I think, well, it's probably saved me from walking into a wall and hitting my face. She added, of course, there are times when I get really upset about my situation, particularly on nights when I can't sleep. She's sharing her story as a cautionary tale for young people who may be tempted to try drugs.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So that's don't do meth. Let's just
No,
stay away from the meth.
It's a garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
And screw you to that friend who gave it to her in a...
Well, really? Like,
What
did
was
they
it,
say
cigarette?
what was in it? It doesn't really matter. But kind of it does.
Yeah.
Like, if they, here's a joint, what is it? Well, if they just say, here's a joint for you.
Yeah.
No, man.
No. And you think being a friend, it's a safe space. And, you know, your friend's not going to unknowingly give you meth.
Well, friend seems like a loose term in this
Yeah,
case.
I think it does.
So it's too bad. Like, well, I mean, it's obviously too bad in every way.
Yeah.
But she popped her eyes out,
Yes.
and then she squished them.
She squished them, but they were still
Fuck.
hanging out.
Because, like, if your eyes, let's get funky here for a second.
Yeah.
If you took if your eyes were out of your skull,
Yeah.
you could still see,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I won't go too far into it, but in like military torture in olden times, well, by olden times I mean in the last century,
Yeah.
they would sometimes do that
Yeah.
so that the person was forced to watch the torture, but obviously they couldn't close their eye because
Right.
it's out of the socket.
Right.
You got to be some kind of bastard to even
Yeah.
think about doing that,
Yeah.
let alone doing it. That poor woman, man.
I know.
And when did this happen?
This was just a few weeks ago.
Oh,
Last week, December 13th, I believe it said.
well, hopefully they can, like, if her optic nerves are good, hopefully that, they should get an eye transplant
Maybe.
or something.
It did say she got prosthetics anyway, so she'll probably
Well,
have
that just
that
means
forever.
fake eyes.
Yeah. So
Right.
she may not be able to. Like the picture that was on the article itself, it doesn't look like they're going to do anything. They've sewn them up and
Well, that might also mean to keep infection at bay, though, too,
Yeah.
right? Just keep,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, birds or something flying in there. Nesting. I don't even know what that means. But,
yes.
obviously, because it's more or less an open wound,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, wonder if your eyes actually have nerve endings in them.
I don't know.
Like your brain doesn't.
No?
Negative. Your brain cannot sense pain. What do you got? Well, your brain can, like mine can, but
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
kidding, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Gotcha.
wow, that poor woman, man.
Yeah. So there's some good bedtime story for you.
And I hate, like, okay, so she was smoking grass, and I'm certainly pro cannabis. I'm not thrilled with teenagers doing it because your brain isn't done developing till your mid-20s.
Right.
So it can impact you negatively.
Sure.
I'm not wild about teenagers drinking either,
No.
because more than likely, you lack the judgment necessary to
Yep.
behave. Can attest. Can
Absolutely. Yep.
And because I did something doesn't mean I think therefore others should. It's not hypocritical. For example, if you're a smoker, to tell people you shouldn't smoke,
Right.
it's not hypocritical at all.
No.
Well, I'm going to look into that. I might use that picture as an infographic.
Oh,
just
there you
to
go.
freak
What?
people
Eyeballs out?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's not happy.
Not really.
I have an interesting story, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So, you've ever taken one of those DNA tests, to find out your ancestry?
I have not.
I did. I did it, I think it was just before COVID.
Okay. I
And-
remember when you did that.
Yeah, no big surprises.
Yeah.
My dad's side is from Alsace-Lorraine, Germany, France,
Right.
depending on your time in history. And my mother's side technically is too, although my mother was adopted. For the record, I have nothing but great applause for people who adopt children.
Right.
Totally. 100%. But her side, though, yeah, northwestern England, Scandinavia, specifically Norway, Viking. I'm a Viking.
You are?
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
man. Karen and I have this running joke because her background is Viking, too. Who's more Viking? Little disappointed to learn, though, that they didn't actually wear those helmets with horns in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That'd
not
be
true.
cool.
That would be really cool.
I'd want one.
Me too.
I don't know if women wore them, though, but...
I don't know. You're not a Viking anyway, so...
I thought you were going to say you're not a woman anyways.
Well, I presume you are. You seem to meet all the criteria. So anyway, a woman who took a DNA test for fun was left stunned when the results linked her to an unsolved murder from 1997, leading to her grandmother's arrest. Jenna Gerwatowski, 23, decided to order a DNA kit after one of her friends received the test as a Christmas gift. Not long after, she received a call from an unknown number while at work. On the other end of the line was a detective from the Michigan State Police who asked her, "Have you heard of the baby Garnett case?" The question left Jenna bewildered. The case, which dated back to 1997, had shaken the small community when the body of a deceased baby was discovered in a campground pit toilet at Garnett Lake Campground near where Jenna grew up.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's kind of grim, isn't
Why
it?
do people...
I don't know. Investigators had been unable to identify the baby or find witnesses, and the case went cold. But decades later, the detective informed Jenna that her DNA had been a match, indicating she was related to the deceased infant. According to court documents, detectives have reopened the case in 2017 and worked with a forensic company to extract DNA from baby Garnett's partial femur. When Jenna shared the news with her mother, Kara Gerwatowski, she was met with skepticism. Kara suspected it might be a scam, especially since Jenna's grandfather had recently been targeted by someone posing as a detective. Kara warned Jenna not to share personal information or passwords. Later that evening, Jenna received another call, this time from Misty Gillis. That's going to be your new name. A senior forensic genealogist and cold case liaison from Identifiers International. Gillis requested Jenna's family tree DNA login credentials to upload her DNA to another database. Convinced it was a scam, Jenna refused and hung up the phone, thinking, what a bizarre thing to scam someone about. A week later, Jenna's mother called her in a panic while she was at work. "You need to come home right now. It's an emergency," her mom said. Jenna rushed home to find her mother sitting at the kitchen table with Jenna's cousin. Police had contacted the cousin to explain the baby Garnett situation. "My mom had tears in her eyes," Jenna said, "and my cousin was in complete shock. You could hear a pin drop." According to court records, Jenna's DNA test revealed she was the half-niece of baby Garnett. Kara, who later agreed to provide her own DNA, was found to be baby Garnett's half-sister. Jenna said this revelation caused her mother to connect the dots. Kara told detectives, "If it's going to be anyone, it would be my mother." Kara, 42, hadn't spoken to her mother, Nancy Gerwatowski, since she was 18, as their relationship had been strained, clearly. This also meant Jenna had never met her grandmother. "I had known about the baby Garnett case my whole life," Jenna said, "but to find out my grandma was involved, it was shocking." The Michigan Attorney General's office alleges that Nancy delivered the baby alone at her home in Newberry. Nancy is the grandma. They claim the baby died from asphyxiation, a death that could have been prevented if Nancy had sought medical intervention. However, Nancy's defense team argues she unexpectedly gave birth while in the bath and that the baby became trapped in the birth canal. According to her attorneys, Nancy lost consciousness during the delivery, and by the time she managed to deliver the baby, it was already dead. The defense also states that in 1997, Nancy had no access to a telephone or cell phone and was unable to call for help. She admits to placing the stillborn baby in a bag and leaving it in the campground, but her attorneys argue that she was in shock and in extreme pain following the traumatic birth. Nancy now faces charges of open murder, which carries a potential life sentence, as well as involuntary manslaughter and concealing the death of an individual. Her defense team has argued for the case to be dropped, claiming the state cannot prove the baby was born alive. They also requested that any statements Nancy made during police investigations be dismissed, citing a violation of her rights to counsel. The prosecution argues that Nancy's comments about considering an abortion and failing to seek prenatal care are relevant to establishing motive. So,
Wow.
pretty...
Way to go, Grandma.
Well, yeah. Way to go, Nancy. So, I don't know how old she was at the time. It doesn't say her age. But, I mean, lots of things can go wrong in a pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And I have heard before of women actually not knowing they're pregnant. It's uncommon.
Yes, I had a friend of mine that was 7 months pregnant or something like that, and
Right.
she had no idea.
Right.
I'm like, how?
Well, I mean...
I don't get that.
I mean, obviously you're not menstruating while you're pregnant.
Right.
But I guess there's certainly women who aren't so regular that it happens every
That's true.
28 days or whatever.
That's
the
true.
deal is.
Yep.
But you'd think after like 7 months of it not happening, you might be like, this can't be right.
Yeah. And, having had a couple children, internally, that you're pregnant. Things move and shift and
Well,
babies kick and...
This person you mentioned, was it her first baby?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, well,
it was.
all right.
I know, but still, it's...
I don't know, man.
That always amazes me.
Yeah.
How you don't know, but...
So there's, DNA tests got an interesting result, dude.
Apparently.
Granny's in the pokey.
Yeah.
She's in the big house.
pokey.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. Don't kill people. That's my message.
Don't kill people. Don't kill people. Don't do math and don't kill people.
Yeah. Probably in that order. No, don't kill people. Like, if you have to do one of those, do meth.
Yeah.
But better don't do either.
Don't do either.
Hey, do you have a story for us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about some other things about body parts and coming out and off.
Body parts.
Okay.
Some.
In the days before anesthesia, surgeons had to get creative with their surgeries in an attempt to save lives while minimizing a patient's pain. One of the most effective ways was to perform the surgery as quickly as possible, sometimes in under 5 minutes. There was an upside to this method, of course. As the less time a surgery took, the less likely the patient was to bleed out and the less likely they were to feel pain. Well, you're still going to feel pain, but
Not as long, I guess.
not as long. However, there was also a downside, as accuracy would usually be sacrificed in favor of speed.
Right.
One of the surgeons most famous for his speed was Dr. Robert Liston. Robert Liston was born in 1794 in Scotland.
He's dead now?
I would dare say he is, yeah. He studied medicine at the University of Edinburgh and quickly became interested in anatomy. He decided to narrow his focus on surgery and soon gained a reputation as a skilled surgeon. Known as the fastest knife on West End,
Oh, it can't be a good sign.
Robert Liston was particularly skilled at quick amputations. Where most surgeons at that time lost 1 in 4 patients, due to his speed and skill, Liston only lost about 1 in 10.
Ooh, wow.
British surgeon and author Richard Gordon, a noted Liston expert, claims that Liston could perform a leg amputation in 2.5 minutes, at one point even getting it down to 28 seconds.
Holy.
That's some fast cut. Like,
Damn
to
right.
cut through a leg,
Yeah.
that's some work.
I can't even cut it through a chicken. That kind of time. I mean like a dead chicken. I'm not holding it down. It's not struggling.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
Well, good for him,
God.
I guess.
He was so sure of his speed, he became known for his catchphrase, uttered before every surgery. "Time me, gentlemen," he would say, holding up his knife. "Time me."
Oh, God.
And everyone in his ever-growing gallery of onlookers would time him. So this kind of went to his head for a bit, I believe.
Yeah.
Due to his reputation, he quickly became famous for his work. However, one of his surgeries in particular stands out above the rest. Robert Liston was performing a leg amputation on a patient who was laying flat on his table. As he brought down his knife, he was so focused on his speed that he took his surgical assistant's fingers off along with the patient's leg.
Oop.
As he swung the knife back up, it clipped the spectator's coattails, and he collapsed and died.
Oh. What, from getting his coat cut?
Yes. It turned out it was from fright.
Holy, man.
The patient and Liston's assistant both died after their wounds became infected. And the spectator who collapsed was later discovered to have died of fright. The 3 deaths made Liston's surgery the only one on record with a 300% mortality rate. Though the 3 deaths were by far the most notable of his career, they weren't the only time Liston gained infamy for his less than successful surgery. While amputating another patient's leg, he broke his personal record by finishing the surgery in 2.5 minutes. However, in the interest of speed, he got a little too excited and chopped off the patient's testicles along with his leg.
Oops.
Those are some big testicles if they got in the way.
Yeah. Sorry, that's weak.
He also once mistook a lump in a boy's neck for a skin tag and removed it suddenly at the boy's home. The lump turned out to be an aneurysm of his carotid artery, and the boy died.
Yeah, I would imagine real quick.
Years later, when anesthesia was invented, Liston became the first surgeon to operate it, and his surgery was a success. Operate using it, his surgery was a success. Despite his downfalls, Robert Liston remained a distinguished surgeon. After his death, his peers erected a marble statue in his honor and created an award for students of distinction in his name.
Wow.
So, don't get cocky.
And,
don't let it all go to your head.
Well, yeah, really, eh? Well, I suppose, doctors now make mistakes.
Oh, sure they do.
You know?
Yeah.
And I understand why people get upset at it, but I mean, they're humans, right? Just that the what they're doing is more fraught.
Yes.
Has more potential for calamity
and
danger.
they take their time.
Well, this is another thing. Yeah.
This guy wasn't about. He was about time, but not taking his time.
Right. It's a good thing he wasn't.
He was
doing
showing off. Is
eye
really
surgery or brain surgery or something. Yeah. You watch how fast I have the skull cap off.
Yeah. Right.
It wouldn't make that noise. It sound like a disturbed cat or something.
It kind of did.
Robert Liston.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, good for him, man.
Well, I mean, he still has some honor in his name, but.
Well, I mean, you remember back then, if you got like gangrene.
You'd be done.
You're right. That's why you amputated, right?
Yep.
So that everything didn't go south on you. It's kind of shitty to lose your boys. At the same time. But
lose your leg and your boys.
Honestly, I got to think about this for a second. But I can say with relative certainty that I would rather lose them than my leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Sure. Yep.
But, because, well, I got to think about that. Yeah, because if I lost my leg, then they'd be dragging on the ground anyway. Hey? Yeah. Or get caught when I go through a turnstile. But I guess I would still have, like, pants on.
Yeah, you'd probably have, like, a prosthetic leg. You'd be fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you just wouldn't be, like, hopping along with your nuts dragging on the floor.
How gauche. Cool. Well, I'm glad I didn't live back then. Like, I wish sometimes I lived further in the future because I kind of think our contemporary world sucks. But it doesn't suck that bad.
No, definitely not that bad.
Can I take us back in time, too?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. Go for it.
You have, I know you have family photos. Like, you've had photos taken by someone professionally as a family, haven't you?
Yes.
Way back when.
Yes.
Because you were all wearing red. I've seen the pictures.
Yes.
And of course, that's been a thing as long as photography's existed. Pardon me. Oh, excuse me. I had to get rid of it because it was mucking me up. Yeah, I mean, it's a record, isn't it? It's a record of you.
Yep.
And your loved ones or what have you.
Yep, for sure.
So back in the 1850s. Photography became much more affordable and accessible to consumers. So this sparked a trend in the Victorian era of post-mortem photography. where dead loved ones featured among the pages of family albums. Known as a memento mori, God, it's good, which means remember you must die. That's good.
Okay.
The trend became increasingly popular for a period of time, and even Queen Victoria slept underneath a photo of her dead husband.
Wow.
Now, I gotta say, this photo was like on the ceiling.
I was going to say.
Yeah, she wasn't clutching it to her chest.
That's what I was trying to picture in my head. I'm like, how is she
Yeah.
sleeping underneath it?
Yeah.
They might have had a canopy bed, though. Seemed like everyone back then had a canopy
That's a good
bed.
point. I hadn't thought about that. Many people were photographed at home as if they were sleeping, often lit in a quote-unquote heavenly light from a nearby window. Pupils would be painted onto the photo to bring life back to the dead corpse,
What?
which had to be photographed within 24 hours of death before decomposition started to creep in. Most of the subjects were infants and children, who would sometimes be photographed with their favorite toys. Sometimes the living would even pose with the dead for one final family photo. Postmortem photography eventually died out decades later, around the start of the 1900s, when casual photography and snapshots became more common. So I saw a picture of this years ago, and it shows a group of children, brothers and sisters, maybe 5 in total. And the last one, I think they're done from oldest to youngest. And the oldest might be, I don't know, like 12 or something. And then the youngest girl at the end looks like she's maybe 7-ish. And she is absolutely dead. Like, she doesn't look scarifying, like she's not decomposed. Yuck. But it's not right.
Right.
You know, you can just tell. And I remember showing it to somebody and thinking, oh, that's really gross, man. Like, and kind of disrespectful. But I think it's the exact opposite. Like, if you had no visual record of your child,
Right.
which you wouldn't have, it's not like, okay, let's go to Sears and get our pictures taken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's a way. And, you know, back then, people were a little closer to death. Like, they, not that it was any less scary, I suppose, but it was less of a mystery in that it happened more often. You know, even at that point in the mid-1800s, if you had a child, there was a reasonable shot they weren't making it
Right.
past the first year
Yeah.
or to 10 years old. So if they passed away, here's a way to remember them.
Yeah.
To immortalize them, if you will.
Yep.
So I don't,
Absolutely.
like, I do find it kind of creepy, but not
It
in
is,
a
but-
bad way. Like,
yeah.
guys shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Right.
I get it, but it's still creepy.
It is very creepy.
You know?
Yeah, I don't, yeah. Even to see, like, you know, some people will take pictures at a funeral of an open casket.
Really?
Like, I don't know. I've seen it, and it's just it's a weird thing to look at.
See, if I go to a funeral, like a visitation or whatever,
Yeah.
and if it's open casket, I don't even go up to it.
No?
Nope. I don't really know why. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't. Do you, man? But
Yeah.
like, some people say, well, you get closure out of it from that, and maybe that's true. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think there is something to be said about that.
I can see that. But I
Yeah.
don't know that I need it. Like,
Yeah, no,
and I don't want
understand.
that image.
Yeah,
To,
as your last image.
well, yeah. Or is it going to be the one that I remember? Probably not. But I don't.
I remember.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
the thing. I don't. Why do I want?
Yeah.
Why do I need that?
Yeah.
Do I need that?
But it's different in a sense where you're looking at it and you know it's just a shell now. There's something different. Their soul is gone, and I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like,
Try. Like, seriously. Like, okay.
You're looking at the body, but
Yeah.
you're like, they're not there anymore.
No, I agree with that. Like, and,
It's
you know,
just skin and bones now, and it's just who they are is not there anymore. It's just
right.
a body.
But so, what do you achieve by looking at it? And I'm not criticizing the decision.
No, I know what you mean. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Am I glad I did it?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Was this someone close to you?
Yeah, my grandparents.
Okay, yeah.
So, I think you made a comment on it today. I had posted my grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
This was the day he died. It was like 31 years ago, but
Yeah.
it's still, we were really close.
Was that you, the little girl in the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
cool.
I have that harmonica that he was playing in that
do you?
picture. I do.
Sweet. Yeah, cool.
But that was the first body that I ever saw. Like, dead body.
Right.
Sorry.
No,
I should phrase that properly. Because I remember going to the church, and I did not want to go up there, but my aunt was like pushing me to go up there to look. She's like, you need to look, you need to look, you need to just, it's your way of saying goodbye. And the first time you see it, it's polarizing. And I'm like, ugh. But then after a while, you're like, oh, well, it's not him. Right? It's just, and I saw him at the end of his life, and it was no life for him. So it was almost like he's at peace now. He's gone. He's not in pain anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So there's many different ways of looking at it. Obviously, if it's a horrific accident, I think it would be different. But
Well, yeah, but then, Christ, I would hope they would not have an open casket.
yeah.
You know.
Some people choose to, some people
yeah,
don't,
no,
right?
I
Or
get
they'll
it.
just keep it for family, immediate family only, but then the actual funeral, it's closed. Right?
You just reminded me when you talked about your aunt kind of pushing you to go up and look of an old movie called Three Faces of Eve, I think it's called.
Okay.
I gotta watch it again. I've only seen it once, and it's about a woman who essentially has what we for years referred to as like multiple personality disorder. Mm-hmm. Which is still debatable whether that's even a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Science is still out on it. But this woman had 3 pronounced identities. And it goes back, whether this would be the cause or not, who knows. But it goes back to her being a little girl, like 7-ish, 8-ish, and being at her grandmother's funeral. And being taken up to look at the body in an open casket. And I think it was her aunt or her mother, I can't remember which, insists on this little girl, Eve, kissing her grandmother. She wanted no part of it. They made her do it. Now, whether that's grounds enough for trauma, who am I to guess? I don't know. Like I've said before, one person's trauma is another person's Tuesday. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But I wouldn't do that.
No, even touching is
No,
weird.
Even if
I can't, like, it gives me shivers thinking about it, because I remember touching my grandma's hands.
Right.
And just because it was just something that I did when I said bye to her, and I put my hand on her hands, and it was just, I'm like, it's not her hand. Like, it's a weird thing to put into words. I don't know.
Like, if I had a child at a funeral and they were absolutely not interested in going up,
No.
be like, you don't have to.
No.
You're okay.
No, exactly.
Especially at that age. There's not closure when you're 6 or 7
No, you don't
years
understand it.
old.
You shouldn't be there anyways.
I would agree with that.
At that age,
I
you
would
shouldn't
agree.
be there.
I would agree.
But that's just my
You don't
thought.
have to lie to them, but
No.
don't give them more than they
No.
can handle.
Nope. No,
It's
their
like
little
asking
brains
a child
can't.
to carry a big bag of water softener salt. They can't. So why would you burden them
I don't know. It'd be pretty
with-
funny to watch.
with information that they can't process? It's
Yeah.
the same idea.
Yep, they don't know what death is yet.
No.
So
Well, who the hell does, in a way?
honestly, it's true. Well, that was a pretty morbid topic to end with.
Well, not really. I mean, yes.
I mean, we all die. It's just a part
Speak
of
for
life.
yourself. I'm going to come back. I want to come back. If you if you believed in reincarnation, and I don't know what I believe, and it doesn't matter what anyone believes, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen regardless of what you believe.
Yep.
But if reincarnation is real and true, I want to come back as a dog to a really loving family. That would be the best. You always live in the day, in the moment, right? You sleep a lot, you eat, you play.
Yeah.
You can reach parts of your body that are almost impossible now. Like, I'm not talking with my hands. What's the downside?
Yeah.
Like, even they're amazing. Like, even if you accidentally step on like your dog's foot and they make that horrible, sad pain noise,
I don't know that. Maddie doesn't even.
And then you bend down,
flinch.
you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and you're hugging them, and they're licking your face like, it's okay, dude, it's okay. I know you didn't mean to. That's how awesome they are. That's what I want next life.
I kicked my dog in the face by accident this
I hope it
morning,
bit you.
and she didn't even move.
Did it shake its head really
Nothing.
fast?
Nothing.
Really?
She was laying on the floor, and
Aw.
I turned around and kicked her in the snout, and she
Ah.
didn't even move.
Oh, she should have bit you.
Didn't even move.
I'd have bit you. Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess it was kind of a dark subject to end
Yeah,
on,
but then we
hey,
ended
it's-
talking about dogs, so that's pretty good.
Dogs are awesome, man.
I'm going to bring Maddie here next week. When I come next week and we're going to record,
Where's she gonna sit or sleep? Can't sleep in my bed.
she won't.
Okay.
She'll lay right here. Promise you.
Will she bite me?
Oh,
I know she won't. I'm looking forward to it
she loves everybody.
'cause I love dogs.
Okay, can I bring her?
Can you?
Yeah. Will you let me bring her? Do you want me to bring her?
You mean may you?
No.
Ah.
May I bring her?
Ah. Sure you can.
Okay.
Kara's never brought her dogs here because they would freak the hell out.
Really?
Mhm.
Why?
'Cause they're high strung. They're edgy.
Okay.
They were bred, not her two dogs, but they're from Central Africa, and they were bred to bait like lions out of their dens. That takes some stones, dude.
All right.
You better be quick. You know, I ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice one. That's staying in. Okay, yeah, bring the dog. Cool.
Okay, yeah, bring the dog.
We
Cool.
can't go out afterwards then.
Yeah, if you pick a
Dog friendly place?
Yeah.
We can't take dogs into a bar.
You know where you can? Rural Roots.
Yo, dude, that's up in Elmira. Why are we talking when we're recording?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So, cool stories today.
Yes.
That was fun. We
Yeah.
had drugs and DNA, death, drinking, and
Doctors?
doctors.
Amputations?
God, they're all D's. Cool. Do you want to say something again, please? Short
Yes,
and
I
sweet.
can.
And about
I
the
can.
contest.
Yes.
By the way, we
Yes.
have white and black T-shirts.
Yes, we do. Yeah, whatever color you want. Well, not whatever
As
color.
long as they're white and or black.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can have whatever color you want.
Oh, we
really.
should put up a color chart.
Yeah, we
Mm.
could. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Okay.
yeah, check out our website,
Please.
theabsurdpodcast.ca. You'll find all of our links to streaming stuff and listening and
Wow.
all the things, Instagram, Facebook. But yes, the links are there for where you can listen to us. Some of them, anyways.
Yeah.
And-
All the different streaming services. Please leave a review and rate us.
Yes,
And more importantly, though, please share with somebody you know who might
please
like
do.
it. He'll be long back by the time he hears this. Oh, I shouldn't say that. He was just going up for the night.
What?
Our friend of the show, Tim, is on his way to Bell River,
Ah,
semi-middle northern Ontario.
yes.
Not really that far north, the scheme of things, but he messaged me earlier and saying he's on his way to Bell River and listening to The Absurd. So
What a good man.
indeed he is. Yeah. So yeah, check us out on the socials, please,
Yes.
and look for our contest information.
Yeah.
You can see them on Facebook and on Insta, and I think maybe on YouTube.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, they are on YouTube.
So that's next week we do in the draw.
Yep.
So quick like bunnies.
Do it. Get her done.
All right. Thanks everyone for stopping in and listening, and take care of yourselves. And hopefully we'll see you back here next week. Take care of
Yeah.
yourselves and each other.
Bye.
Bye.
The Absurd Podcast is written, produced, and recorded by Rod and Mel. Music by Audionautics.com.